It really is a sad thing that that is going to be gone now and that I can't even have it. Know what I mean? Welcome back, travel fans. I'm Morgan from the very unofficial travel guides. I travel all around the world to popular and not so popular, although I very rarely do that anymore, tourist destinations to give you a very honest, unofficial look at what it was like to be there. And sometimes I say, I make the travel mistakes, so you don't have to. On this week's edition of Sunday Sofatime, we're going to be talking about 5 reasons why you might want to stay on the ship. It is Sunday, June 16th, and I hope I got that right this time. You guys, the last 2 Sunday Sofa Times, if you've been paying attention, I've included some really stupid mistakes. 2 weeks ago, I forgot to change the title, so the title was not fitting to the actual video. And last week, I said the wrong date. Welcome to my life. Anyways, like I said, today I want to talk about reasons why you might want to stay on the ship when you're in port. And if you've never cruised before, you might be thinking, why would I book a cruise that goes to all these fabulous places and then not get off the ship? So let's talk about it. I wrote some reasons down, and this is going to be one of those videos where I'm really interested to hear what you all have to say. If you are somebody who's been cruising for a while, let me know if you think I got it right or if there's anything you think I should include, and I'm sure there will be. And like I said, I wrote down 5 reasons, and there's another reason that's popping up in my head right now as I'm thinking about this and thinking about what I'm gonna say. So let's say that there's like 5.5 reasons, and I think one of the main umbrella themes of this whole list is planning can be stressful. And if you're on a cruise that has a lot of ports, that means you're gonna have to do a lot of decisions and planning. It depends on how your relationship to planning is as it is involved in taking a vacation. And altogether, staying on the ship is just much less stressful because you don't have to plan anything. You just stay on the ship. But let's go through my reasons, the 5 reasons that I wrote down, and talk about those as well. And the first thing I wrote down is you will have a less waiting time for the activities. Yes, as you know, I love to do the water slides, the water parks, and the fun stuff on ships. Just last Friday, I posted a video of the really cool water park on the MSC Meraviglia, so check that out if you haven't seen it yet already. I will link it in the card up here, although I've learned from my YouTube analytics that very few of you click on these things. And depending on how big the ship is and how full it is, sometimes the lines get really long for these things, or the waiting times can be really long. For some things like the iFly skydiving simulator tube thing on the back of the Anthem of the Seas that I did, which was really awesome, you can only do it if you have a reservation. And so all those things are going to be easier to do with little to no wait time, or with it's going to be easier to get a reservation for those if you do them while you're in port, because most people do leave the ship, and that leaves the rest of the people on the ship who decide to stay on the ship, it leaves more space. You know what I'm saying? If you kind of want to have that feeling that you've got those things to yourself, then do them while you're in port. And if you want to be really sure that you're going to get to do them, then don't wait until the last sea day. All right, moving on. The next thing is something that you might not have thought about, but you'll have a better chance to win one of those keychains at trivia. When you are on a ship, at least on most ships, and I have to say I have been on 2 cruises where there was very little activities planned, but on most cruises, on most ships, there are activities planned like the whole day long. And I'm talking about trivia, name that tune, like ping pong tournament, all those kinds of things. And they can get really crowded, and sometimes that makes it more fun, and sometimes that makes it less fun. But a lot of these things, if you participate and if you win, or if you're like one of the top 3, you get a prize. And I'm talking about things like keychains, pens, those drink koozie things that you put your can of beer in. And if you go to one of these tournaments or trivias or name that tunes or whatever it may be, while you're in port, there's gonna be a lot less people participating, which definitely raises the chances that you may win. So yeah, I mean, if you really want one of these, trivia prizes, then go while you're in port. All right, the next reason is something that is near and dear to me, and I know that I have stayed on the ship for this reason several times while I was in port. But before I get to that reason, please forgive me for putting a little commercial break right here. So I programmed it today that only people who have never watched the Kardashians would see an ad. Did it work right? All right, back to the reasons. And that reason I'm talking about is because you can catch up on sleep. In real life, back here in Hamburg, I have to get up early a lot. And for me, 6:30 in the morning is early. And it's not something that my body has ever really adjusted to. I have to set an alarm, otherwise I will not wake up. And some days it's still really hard to get out of bed. And so one thing that I love about staying on the ship when I'm on a cruise is because then I can just sleep and I can stay in bed as long as I want. Sometimes your ship arrives in port also really early, and the time where you have to be back on board, it depends. Sometimes you have to be back on board at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So if you really want to get out and do a great excursion or see the city or go to the beach or go shopping or something like that, sometimes you only have like 4 or 5 hours, and in order to get the most out of the time, you want to get up early, go to breakfast, and then get off the ship as soon as possible. But sometimes I don't want to do that. I just want to sleep. I don't want to have to be rushed. I don't want to have to set an alarm clock. I just want to sleep. Can I get a woot woot? Okay, the next reason is something that may or may not actually be true, and it's something that I've talked about in another video as well, and that is you might be able to get a discounted spa treatment. All right, I've talked about spa treatments before, and it is actually on my list of cruise ripoffs, things that I say you never really should do on a cruise ship, and that is because the spa prices on ships are already jacked like way the heck up. And so to say that you can get a cheaper spa treatment on a port day, which is usually true, still doesn't necessarily mean that it's gonna be like cheap. I went to the day spa here in Hamburg a couple weeks ago, and I got an hour massage for 52 euros, which is around like, I don't know, let's say $60. I have never seen an offer for an hour-long massage on a cruise for less than $100. So a discount on a $100 massage would put it down at like $80 or $90. And come on, that's still really expensive. But it is cheaper than usual. So if it's like something that you really had your mind set on, that you really wanted to go to the spa and get like a facial or a massage or something like that while you're on vacation, then you should definitely wait to do it on a day where you're in port, because like I said, they almost always are offering some kind of discount. And that brings us to the final reason on this list. And speaking of discounts, it's because you just altogether will save money. In case you don't know, and I've talked about this before, when you are on a ship, almost everything that you need or want has already been paid for. So staying on the ship will help you stay on budget and save money, because I promise you, even if you just, leave the ship to go do a little walk through the town or something like that, you are most likely gonna be spending a little bit of money. You're gonna be buying something to drink, like a bottle of water, or maybe some cocktails. You might see that swimsuit that you really wanna get. Maybe you're only gonna pay, like $5 to take the little train around the harbor or something like that. But still, that's money that you would not have spent if you stayed on the ship. And don't even get me started on the ship excursions, because those things are also priced very high. So definitely, if you are on a small budget, just plan to stay on the ship. I've never actually done a cruise where I haven't left the ship at all, but I know people do it. Have you ever done it? Write me in the comments below. And there's my list. Like I said, I'm sure we can think of many more reasons, or maybe some of the reasons that I said now are ones that you disagree with. Let's talk about it in the comments. I love to hear from you and read from you. In last week's Sunday Sofa Time, I talked about owning and losing a part of Disney World, and Actually, the more I've discussed this with people and talked with my sister about it and stuff like that, the more I've gotten kind of emotional about it. It really is a sad thing that that is going to be gone now and that I can't even have it. Know what I mean? By the way, my sister and I have decided we're going to order one of those collector's bricks, and I found out that there is something special that they do only for people who participated in the original program, so that is kind of cool. Ron Jacobs Young writes, Epcot version is or was Leave a Legacy, the Marble Garden. It's from the entrance and the huge planet with 100,000 images of us engraved on the pillars. We wrote our stories that could be accessed by our family, and we visited 3 years later, and the greeters welcomed us and got in our history. But now I hear that's gone. I'm sad. So I wrote to Ron already, but just to comment on this also here, yeah, there is a program that they also did at Epcot where you could actually get a picture of yourself etched into metal and put on these big marble pillars in the garden between the entrance and Spaceship Earth in Epcot. And that also has been removed. However, they are going to be putting them back up someplace else, so it's not gone forever. Donna Rizzo writes, my sons are on that Epcot wall. In their picture, they are about 7 and 11, and it's so amazing to see them as adults next to the picture. I can totally imagine how cool it is to go with them now as adults and have them stand next to that memory, and that's one of the things I talked about in the video last week, at how good Disney is at creating ways for us to make these amazing memories that we talk about year after year and that become part of the family. You know what I mean? Final comment is from Happy in Houston. Hi, Morgan. Howdy to you down in Houston. That's what the Texans say, don't they? Disney should give a commemorative replica to people that participated in the original program, or at least they should be different from the bricks that the general public can purchase. Anywho, love your videos. Thank you. And actually, that's what I wanted to talk about, to update from last week, because I did start going through the ordering process, and there is a special brick that is only a special design feature, 2 special design features that are only being offered to people who participated in the original program. So in a way, anybody can order one of these bricks now, but these design options, these 2 certain design options are only available to people who participated in the original program, making the bricks that we'll get even more of a collector's item. You know what I mean? And maybe I'll do an update video about that when our stone is finally produced. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this Sunday Sofa Time. Like I said, give me those reasons in the comments below. Check back on Friday for the next MSC Meraviglia cruise ship video, and I'll see you on Sunday.